Hello, everybody. It's Danielle from Wusa Holistic Health Coaching. Back again to just have another brief conversation with you about all things mental, emotional, physical, and even spiritual health. Today was kind of a sad day, I have to say. I went to a memorial service, and it was for two people. It was for a couple that had been married for 67 years. And so their three children decided to go ahead and celebrate the life of their parents at the same time, since their deaths happened so close together. But man, did that get me thinking. I mean, I've known that couple since I was a toddler, and we spent a lot of time at their house. And it just got me thinking about all of the different things that they were known for, the things that they were passionate about, the things in their life that gave them purpose. And it also got me thinking about how tomorrow is not promised to any of us. Because right before that, as mentioned in my previous video, a family friend lost a family member who was very, very young and had just newly become a husband. So it just makes me think about how important it is the way we're living. Instead of like existing, are we actually living? Are we living with passion and with purpose, doing the things that we actually want to do and love to do? Because there's a difference when you're living life as a means to an end to get a paycheck, or you're living your life doing the things you've always dreamt about. You know, something that always bugged me as a beauty professional. I can remember I went to beauty school very young. I think I applied when I was like 15. But there were so many other people in my class who they had to fight their parents to let them do this thing that they loved. Because at that time, and maybe it's still going on, I don't know, parents felt like people that were hairstylists or beauty professionals could never support themselves. It's not a real job. Sometimes they would make them go to college first, and then they could learn how to become a beauty professional, because, you know, you're never going to be able to move out of this house, that kind of a thing. And I'm just so grateful that I knew from the time I was 5 years old that I was going to be a stylist. I knew it the first time I ever learned to braid at 5 years old. I used to sit in beauty salons in the mall. I didn't care if it was a barbershop, a high-end, a clip joint. I didn't care. I thought it was all just amazing art. My friends would be shopping in the mall. I'd be watching hairdressers work at a very young age. I was completely in love with it. And so I appreciate having parents who let me do what I loved and what I was passionate about. And never in a million years did I hear those messages about how I'm never gonna amount to anything if I'm a hairstylist. I'm never going to be able to make enough money. I'm not going to be able to provide for myself unless I go get a degree some other kind of traditional way. I didn't have to listen to that nonsense. And that's exactly what it is. It's nonsense. I have so many friends that went to college. They ended up being the ones that couldn't take care of themselves. They ended up being the ones that couldn't get a decent job or move out of their parents' homes. I did just fine for myself. And then my dad said to me, do you want to work for someone else, or do you want to work for yourself? Well, for many years, I didn't want to work for myself. I didn't even like the idea of entrepreneurship at that time. But man, when that switch flipped, and I remembered my dad say, his voice in my head saying, you know, you can do whatever you want, right? And I remember thinking, cool. Even back to the kind of car I wanted as an 18-year-old getting the first car. He had said to me, what do you want? And I remember thinking, I know what I wanted. I wanted an Audi. I told him, he's like, well, let's go get an Audi. I didn't grow up with all that limited belief stuff, and you can't this and you can't that. And I'm so grateful that out the gate, I was allowed to live my own passion and have purpose and do what it was that lit me up, not someone else. And then when the time came for me to open my own business, it didn't feel like struggle. It didn't feel hard. It didn't feel over the top. People were like, weren't you afraid? Didn't you worry about being the only minority business owner in the entire town? I never thought about none of that stuff. All I did was I asked my clients, hey, do you come to this salon for me or do you come to this salon for the salon? And when I got enough people to say they came for me, I knew it was time to go, and I opened my first brick and mortar, and then I went on from there. But man, I can't believe how rare it is to find people who are living their purpose and their passion doing what they want. And then when I fell in love with holistic health, young 20s, I did kind of like I did when I was a kid going into salons. I met every kind of holistic practitioner that there was. And then finally, I met one who said, you actually would be really good at this work. And I said, I think you're right. And so I went to school and got certified and found another love and another opportunity to live my life in a way that felt authentic to me. I get to live my personality. I've done a bunch of personality tests, so I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know what lights me up. And when we think about the fact that tomorrow isn't promised to any of us, why are we wasting time doing things that we just are just barely tolerating it? We're just kind of existing. We're not happy. We're not joyful. We're not peaceful. We're not excited about anything. Waking up every day to go somewhere that we don't want to go, doing work that we don't like with people we don't care about is soul sucking, depleting, a nightmare. And again, going back to what I heard at that memorial service today about the lives of that couple and the things that they loved and the things that they did. They loved to dance together. And I remember as a kid watching them dance all the time. I remember eating the vegetables that he grew all the time. I remember her flowers and their farm. I'm so happy that at least when their lives ended, they could say, or people could remember that they did stuff that they really enjoyed, including have a successful marriage for almost 70 years together. So it really got me thinking, man, because no one knows how much time they actually have. I mentioned in an earlier video, my husband died a year ago. Do you think he thought at 49 that he'd be gone at 50? Absolutely not. But that's what happened. That's what happened. So I hope that gives you some food for thought, something to give you pause to just ask yourself, am I happy with what I'm doing? If something happened to me, would people remember me for being somebody that was happy and living with passion and purpose, intention, not just living to exist, but living, fully living, enjoying life and being so appreciation for our life, realizing that some people's lives were cut short and some people don't have tomorrow to look forward to. So I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or depressing, but I do just want to just share that because it's real and it's the truth. And we're seeing people that we care about, lives being lost all the time. But while we do have our life, let's really be intentional in trying to make sure that we live a really beautiful life doing the things that we love. So that's the thought that I wanted to share with you today. And I hope that you enjoyed this content. If you did, please give me a like, please give me a subscribe, share my channel with other people because I do love teaching what I know. I don't want to be over here enjoying things and not sharing what has helped me to enhance and level up my own life. I have to share it and help me to grow this community. I appreciate you. I've just been on maybe just a little over a week now. I'm loving it. I don't know what is supposed to be normal as far as subscribers. Oh shoot, I forgot where I was at. I'll look later. But even though it's not some huge amount of subscribers yet, I do appreciate the ones that I do have, and I fully appreciate when you engage with me and you watch the videos all the way through. I really do want this to be a part of my business, not just something I do for fun, but a way to expand my holistic health coaching practice. So thank you for all of your support, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Wusa.